So last week, I was not here, and I participated in a Lakota ceremony, a forgiveness ceremony. So shortly before the ceremony began that morning, I had this dream. And in the dream, I had walked towards one of those bogs. Maybe you've had this experience. I've had it several times in Florida where it looked like it was solid ground, but it was really just grass and mud. And I found myself going down, down, down. But in the dream, it was almost like muddy, flowing water. So I was going down, down, down like quicksand, but it was flowing muddy water. And in the dream, I said, oh, so this is how I'm going to die. And it was very much similar to other experiences that I've had, where I got that glimmer of myself not being a body, but a spirit, that this person can die, but I live on. So I woke up and I heard the words, Hokahe, which is Lakota for, it's a good day to die, which is what they say before every Lakota ceremony. Hokahe. The elder comes out and they play the drum and they say Hokahe as the sun comes up in the morning. And I had to laugh because I realized the ceremony had already begun. And I emailed my friend and said, I had this dream and I was dying in muddy water. And he said, good for you, because you're gonna get clarity. And it's about time we all died to those things that kept us stuck, to those things that no longer served us. So this was a forgiveness ceremony, and I had been doing prayers, and we had been doing prayers, and I'd been gathering people for group prayers on forgiveness. And I felt this incredible release from my past. I felt that I had peeled another layer of the onion. That, I think, is the message that Jesus wanted us to have. Forgive yourself and everyone else for anything that you have ever done or they have ever done, intentionally or unintentionally, in this life that hurt you or them. Since there is really no separation, anything that hurts anyone else also hurts me, and vice versa, because we are all one. And this playing field called Earth is the place where we get to make the mistakes and learn the lessons that we need to learn to be more giving, to be more whole, to be able to turn the other cheek, shake off our shoes, and walk on as fully lighted, illuminated beings. One of my favorite pictures of Jesus is called The Light of the World by Holman Hunt. Does any of you know that picture? The painting was inspired by the book of Revelation. From chapter 3, verse 20, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come to them, and I will sup with them, and they with me. Wherever you stand and look at the painting, the loving, compassionate eyes of Jesus follow you and shine a blessing upon you. The eyes absolutely twinkle. And in this picture, Jesus is dressed like a jester or an old English Santa Claus. He's holding a lantern with his finger pointing upward. And his gesture reminds me of a story about an old Zen master on his deathbed, surrounded by his bereft students. "What are we going to do without you, master?" they cry. And he says to them, "My whole life, I have been pointing you towards the river. But until I go, you won't be able to find that river for yourself." Jesus spent the last years of his life pointing his students towards healing waters. He healed all manner of disease, and he left some very clear instructions by which we can follow him in the practice of healing. Fully 1/3 of the gospel of Jesus' public ministry was devoted to the practice of healing. And yet few churches today even practice or admit it's possible to heal by spiritual means. More often than not, they attribute these healings to the divinity of Jesus, not his teachings about the healing power within each and every one of us. Perhaps that's why Holman Hunt painted the door that Jesus stands at as overgrown with weeds and trailing ivy with rotten fruit on the ground. However, it must be noted, there is no latch, no bolt, and no handle on that door. There's absolutely nothing keeping us out. Jesus simply is waiting to meet us there and to give us the blessing of the healing that already lives in us. When we know that we can be healed and help others to heal, we become the light of the world. Jesus is still alive. Charles Fillmore used to say, "In the etheric realm, Jesus lives and is always there for those who have eyes to see in him." When I worked at Silent Unity, sometimes I would fall into kind of a deep sleep for just a few minutes in between the time when I would be working and the time when I would be doing the prayer vigil. We would have these breaks, and when you worked the night shift, you could lay down. Sometimes I'd lay right down in the prayer room. And I would have this vision that Jesus was walking all around, blessing all the Silent Unity workers. Our co-founders in Unity, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, took Jesus at his word when he said, "Follow me, and even greater things will you do if you have faith." Charles Fillmore said that unity is a link in the great educational movement inaugurated by Jesus Christ. Our objective is to discern the truth in Christianity and prove it. The truth we teach is not new. Neither do we claim special revelations or discovery of any new religious principle. Our purpose is simply to help and teach humankind to use and prove the eternal truths taught by the masters. The Fillmores were not interested in starting a church or founding a new religion. Unity was originally incorporated as an educational and scientific organization. Jesus was not a Christian. Jesus was a Jew, and he did not ever express a desire to found another religion. The word Christianity was never used in his life. Jesus is not, never was, and cannot be the exclusive possession of any religion. He belongs to all humanity. What did he teach? Radical inclusivity. He taught the Samaritan was good, which was the hated sect of the Jews. He left no one out of his circle. He talked to women. He asked for children to come to him. In his time, these were very unusual behaviors. He taught, if you have a quarrel with your brother or sister, go first and resolve that. Then go to the temple, because you have to clean the inside of your cup. One thing that he had no sympathy for was hypocrites. He called them out. He insulted them in public, calling them blind guides and thick-necked vipers. This also was unusual behavior for someone that taught compassion and forgiveness. He was tough on them, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because they were misleading other people. They were motivated by their greed, by their arrogance, by their fears, by their desire for power. But he forgave everyone. As he was dying, think about this. He looked to his right, he looked to his left, and he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And then he's dying. And in his last breath, he looks out at his mother. He looks out at his friend, and he says, "This is your son. This is your mother." Because he didn't want them to be alone. He wanted them to take care of each other. Even as he died, he was teaching us love and compassion and forgiveness. Rabbi Jesus taught that he didn't come to destroy the rabbinical law. He did not come to destroy what the prophets had laid before him. He said, "I've come not to abolish these things, but to fulfill them." He was a prophet and a healer, and he never took any personal credit for his healing, nor did he claim any special mystical superpower. He accomplished his great works and became the Christ, the enlightened human, by practicing diligently what he preached. Love for all humanity, forgiveness for everyone and everything, compassion, ceaseless prayer, solitude, surrender, sacrifice for others, service to the poor, equanimity, courage, conviction. He saw the divine potential in each person so intensely and with such clarity that his faith continues to inspire us. Thousands of years later, we're still trying to figure it out. We're still talking about it. The late, great Eric Butterworth said, Jesus' goal was to help everyone, you and me, to understand the great potential within and help us make the breakthrough. His entire teaching, shorn of its theological embellishments, is a simple outline of techniques by which we can release our innate potential and be transformed by the power of our own divinity. Jesus never puffed himself up or called himself God. He dwelt among us. He said, I'm the light of the world, like the Buddha did. But he also said, you are the light of the world. Go, shine, so that the Creator can see the light that you are. Because you're going to do even greater things than me, he said. Deepak Chopra, in his wonderful daily meditations, has been using this theme. It's kind of a little tweak on Buckminster Fuller's idea that we're all here together on spaceship Earth. But what Deepak says is, we're all passengers on cruise ship Earth. And there's no one of us that can disembark. Some might be in first class and others in economy and some in the belly of the boat like the crew, but we're all on the same boat. And no one is completely immune. We're all in this together. So let's look at the big picture and see the silver lining. Let's work together to make our ship the best place for all of us to live happy, healthy lives. One of my teachers recently said, you've all been working so hard. This is my Lakota teacher, Basil Braveheart. He said, you've all been working so hard all these years on dancing with your shadow. Well done. Now it's time to walk into the light. Now it's time to let your light shine. Now it's time to let go of all that and be the light of the world. So let's walk together into the light. The door is wide open, and Jesus has been waiting for thousands of years to say, let the healing take place. The coronavirus is no match for you. We can't know what tomorrow will bring, but we know we can face fear. We know we can forgive and let go of the past. We know we can be healed. God, love, health, faith, and safety are here now. Let there be health, and let there be joy on earth, and let it begin with us.